Welcome to Tidbits of Preservation. We're here today with Nat Sheidley, the President and CEO of Revolutionary Spaces, the caretaker of the Old South Meeting House and the Old State House. Nat, thanks for joining us remotely today.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me, Greg.
How are you guys faring through this craziness at your such important historic sites?
We're holding up okay. We launched as a new organization on January 1st, formed through the merger of the Bostonian Society and South Association. On March 5th, we had a wonderful event with the governor and the mayor and a bunch of other notable public figures to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the Boston Massacre. And that was supposed to be the kickoff for a year of programs that were going to introduce Revolutionary Spaces to the public and share with people our mission and the kind of work we hope to do moving forward. But within 7 days, on March 12th, we were closed to the public. We have about 70 staff members now in the combined organization. So it's a lot of people to take care of.
Well, speaking of unknowns and knowns, I mean, this merger was really exciting. And I know you were working on it for a long time, a lot of planning with your board, and the parallel board at Old South, but so exciting. And we're pleased that you're along. Both organizations were, and you'll continue to be longtime members of the alliance. Talk just briefly about the motivation for the merger and what you see coming out of it as positive things for both the sites and the programs you can accomplish.
We began talking about the merger when in 2018, which was a moment where both organizations were sort of in the midst of or had just come through a period of transition. So the Bostonian Society had a leadership transition in 2017, Old South Association in 2018, and staff and board leadership just sat down and asked ourselves, is it possible that we might be stronger together? And we agreed that there was good reason to talk further, and so we engaged all of the board and staffs across both organizations in really exploring that question, stronger together or not? And what came out of it was really a resounding yes. By coming together, we felt like we could have a greater impact. And that's bound up really with the fact that we're able to tell a much more compelling story. By coming together, we can tell a really deep story about the origin of really the most fundamental debates that we still have as a people, right? Who gets to have a voice? Who speaks for me? What's my recourse if my voice is being silenced? It's really a set of conversations about what we mean when we say we the people. So we have an opportunity to give people an encounter with a place of origin for that debate, and I think can give them a new perspective on the work that they're engaged in today by bringing them into that conversation with the past. So greater impact was part of it. The second piece was just a recognition that putting the two buildings together allows us to have greater visibility, right? We now can tell the story in two connected sites, but we also have two urban blocks as a canvas to help to tell that story. And I think as we figure out how to create a cultural campus encompassing those two blocks of Washington Street, it'll really create a new and dynamic zone in that part of Boston.
Right.
And then we have a larger staff now, so we have more expertise to bring to bear on things. We have a greater value proposition to take out to funders. We have synergies for earned income. There's just more resources to work with, and I think over time that's going to allow us to do a better job of taking care of the buildings and telling their stories in a way that feels compelling to our audiences.
At the Preservation Alliance, we've been talking increasingly about the importance of the connection between people and place. That yes, it's great, there's a beautiful old building and it's nice to walk by, but without the people engaging in it and getting some sort of connection, you're missing the greatest part of these places. And I think, I've participated, I've been lucky enough to, see some of the plays and those engagements and, bringing history to people in the space where it happened, not to quote Hamilton, but it's really important and powerful. And I think some people don't recognize it until it happens to them. So you have one of those whoosh moments where you really feel connected. And I think the programming that you've done and the programming I'm sure you're planning to do, I saw you announced a new play about Crispus Attucks. Those are the kind of things that engage people with place in a higher level that you can't do anywhere else.
these buildings are canvases for those experiences. They're a place that people can come and feel that deep connection between past and present. But if we're doing our work right as preservationists and as public historians, it's really not about giving people a better understanding of the past, although yes, we definitely want them to have that, but we want that experience to give them a new perspective on the present. And I hope that the programming that we're doing or are planning at the Old State House and Old South Meeting House also has the effect of equipping our audiences with a new set of tools to go out and make the world that they want to live in tomorrow. Because the story these buildings contain is the story of the work that has gone in over a long period of time to creating and sustaining and perfecting a free society.
One of the questions I was going to ask you, but I think we've kind of covered it indirectly, is what excites you in the morning? And it sounds like it's the same thing that excites me about history, is that it has that power to empower people and make them feel that they play a role. And it's not just the big names in history, but that they woke up every day and put their pants on and they walked into these spaces and they made decisions just like you and I make every day that collectively are what make this country what it is and the evolution we continue to experience. So I thank you and your staff for the work you've done and you continue to do and you're figuring out how to do now. And really look forward to the programming. I was lucky enough to be at the last program we've had before we all shut down, and it was very, very powerful. So thank you for joining us for this short little tidbit.
Thank you, Greg, and thanks for all the work that you do and the Alliance does for our whole sector. It's really fantastic to be working in partnership with you.